Hello, love. It's Kat here. Welcome into today's pick a card reading. I am so grateful to have you join us today, love. So, for today's pick a card reading, we are going to be tapping in to see how you can best provide a sense of relief and peace to any anger or irritability that you may be experiencing this week. And the reason that I'm setting this for this week's pick a card intention is because right now tensions are very high. I've been witnessing it in just different experiences, situations, and people that are around me. I've been hearing stories from other people about this, and this is all very representative of the current astrological transits that we're going through right now. So before we get into picking our reading pile choices today, let's just quickly, briefly talk about what's going on in the cosmos and why you may be experiencing and feeling a heightened energy of tension, of anger, frustration, a little bit of delays, or just like being triggered, which can also bring up this energy of feeling a little bit down on yourself, going into that energy of not feeling worthy or not being enough or having enough done, okay? And so we're creating these readings today to kind of transmute that energy, offer you some guidance and insight on why you might be experiencing that energy and how you can best work through it to be able to get to the other side of it, okay? But before we get into that, let's talk about the astrology and how this is backing that up, okay? So right now, when I'm filming this, is April 13th, 2026, and we are currently in Aries season, which means the sun is in the sign of Aries. And then we just had Mars enter into the sign of Aries on April 9th. Mercury is entering into Aries tomorrow on April 14th. And then we also have the new moon that we're coming up on April 17th, which will also be in the sign of Aries. It's going to be a little bit concurrent with the sign of Taurus, which means the moon will be at its peak, the new moon will be at its peak in the sign of Aries, but then later on in the day it's going to shift into the sign of Taurus. So we'll get a little bit of both of those energies, which we'll talk about in just a moment. The other thing is we also have Neptune and Saturn in Aries. Okay, so that is 4 planets in the sign of Aries. I don't think I'm missing any. Yeah, I think 4 planets in the sign of Aries, and the sun and the moon. Okay, the moon's not in Aries yet, but the new moon is something that we're leading up to, and so you're definitely going to be feeling that new moon Aries energy over the next couple days. And so Aries is the first sign on the zodiac wheel. It's also a fire sign, and because we have so many planets in Aries and the specific planets of like Mars, Mercury, Neptune, and Saturn, and the sun being in Aries, it's really representing this energy of bringing up any emotions or energy, thoughts that are connected to experiences, relationships, environment, situations, dreams, goals, whatever it is, okay? There's just like this overall energy that's being brought up to the surface, brought forth into your consciousness to essentially allow you to tap into the deeper information that these feelings of anger, frustration, and tension are trying to show you. And so what I mean by that is you may be feeling frustrated, angry, sad, triggered by situations because the universe, God, okay, is trying to show you where it is in your life that you are settling versus how you can use this emotion to motivate yourself to get out of those situations that are creating this commotion of chaos and anger and tension and frustration and not feeling heard, not feeling listened to, not feeling supported. Okay, so tensions are going to be heavy this week, all right? Just breathe through it, just flow through it. We will be coming out on the other side of this once we cross over into Taurus season, all right, we'll still be feeling it, but we'll be deeper into the energy of that motivation. So right now it's all coming up to the surface because it's representing this energy of information. So if you are feeling irritable, feeling a little bit angrier than normal, feeling triggered, feeling this heavy energy of frustration, just try to allow yourself to sit with it and really ask yourself, what are these emotions? What are these responses trying to show you? What are they trying to teach you about yourself and about the situations that are causing those emotions to stir up from within you? Okay, and just allow yourself to sit with it and receive the answers, because you'll get the answers if you allow yourself to sit with it and ask why this is coming up. And then as we cross over into the next couple days, so probably closer to that new moon in Aries around the 16th, 17th, 18th, and then once we move into Taurus season, which will take place on April 19th, you'll feel a deeper sense of relief from the energy. The emotion will still be there, but it will be supercharged in a way that you use it as a means of motivation to move forward with something, whether it's to get yourself out of a situation and to align with new experiences, or motivation to put something into forward motion. Okay, so it's going to be different for everybody. Okay, but that's the sort of basis as to why tensions are a little bit high this week, why you may be seeing some wild interactions and experiences out in public, or maybe even around in your normal environments, your home, your work life. You know, things are just getting brought up to the surface so that they can really be faced, acknowledged, accepted, and healed, transformed into something that is more supportive, is more in alignment. Okay. All right, loves. So let's go ahead and get into our pick a card piles so that we can receive some insight and guidance on how to best work with this energy and to allow yourself to heal from it and flow through it so you can move past it. All right, so we're going to be doing pick a card piles right now. So how this works is I'm going to draw 4 different cards, which will represent 4 different readings. And then you will choose which card you feel most intuitively called to. And then I'll have timestamps in the description box down below. And you can click on that timestamp and it will take you directly to the beginning of your reading. All right, so pile 1. We'll do pile 2, and we've got pile 3. Let's do one more, pile 4. Okay, so these are our 4 pile choices. If you prefer to pick without seeing what's on the other side of the card, go ahead and choose now. Take a moment to select the card that's calling out to you. All right. And then again, there's timestamps in the description for pile 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, so we're going to flip the cards over now if you prefer to pick by knowing what's on the other side of the card. So pile 1, you have Kitchen Witchery, number 23. Abundance flows easily and effortlessly into your life. Be in gratitude. Pile 1, Kitchen Witchery, number 23. All right, pile 2, we have Crow with number 11. Crow, number 11. Pay close attention to the winds. There's a message making its way. Pay close attention to the winds. There is a message making its way. So pile 2, you have Crow with 11. All right, pile 3, we have Scarecrow with number 34. Scarecrow, number 34. Remember that you are not alone. Move with confidence as you are guided. Remember that you're not alone. Move with confidence as you're guided. So number 3, you have Scarecrow with number 34. And pile 4, we have Molasses, number 26. To move forward, you must know where you are headed. So pile 4, to move forward, you must know where you are headed. And you have Molasses, number 26. All right, love, so those are our pile choices for today. Go ahead and pick the card that is most calling out to you. And then there's timestamps in the description box down below that will portal you directly to the beginning of your reading, which is where I will meet you. See you there. Hello, love. Welcome into your reading to those of you who chose pile 1. So if you chose pile 1, you selected Kitchen Witchery number 23. And this states, abundance flows easily and effortlessly into your life. Be in gratitude. Okay, so with this being your first card, I'm definitely getting the sense that you are trying to receive something and it's not coming to you. And when I say receive something, it's definitely connected to the sense of something that's physical. Okay, so maybe you're trying to receive money, receive an increase in money, get paid back from somebody, or somebody owes you something. Maybe there is a physical object that you're trying to receive, some type of gift, clothes, maybe like a car or a home. All right, there's something physical you're trying to receive and it's just not coming in quick enough for you. It's causing a bit of frustration, maybe a bit of worry. And so right here on this card too, it's telling you to be in gratitude. All right, recognize where you already have a sense of physical abundance in your life. All right, so can you just take a moment to do that now? Just reflect on where you're already supported physically, where you already have a sense of physical security in your life, and offer gratitude for what you do have in this moment now. All right, and just continue doing that while I pick your tarot cards, and then we'll get deeper into your message. All right, but Spirit really wants you to just take a moment to reflect on where you already have your physical needs being met in your life right now. And you already know. Spirits, they're not wanting me to give you examples because you already know and it's going to be different for everybody. But you already have a sense of physical security in your life. Can you show gratitude for that today, in this moment now, and every day moving forward? And the more you focus on what you do have in your life versus the lack of what it is you're trying to receive that's not available to you right now, or not present. It is available to you, it's just not presenting itself to you from a physical sense. The more you focus on what you do have, you'll naturally magnetize and attract the things that aren't there. Okay, but let's see what else is coming up for you here. We have 7 of coins. 7 of coins with the little fox. Okay, we have 7, the Chariot. All right, we've got 2 7s here. So 7s may be a significant number to someone. This also represents the energy of being on the right path. We also have 9 of Swords. And you have the Queen of Cups. All right, maybe we can fit one more card. No, this card here wants to come out. Let's see. Okay, 5 of Wands. All right, 5 of Wands. Okay, yeah, it fits a little out of screen, but it's okay. You can still see it. All right, so let's see what's going on here with your tarot. All right, so Spirit is saying here that you are definitely on the right path, okay? You're doing everything that you can. I see here you're taking the action steps to move forward with something to align with whatever it is that you're trying to receive. So I'm seeing here that you're essentially trying to increase some type of situation in your life that's connected to physical abundance. Okay, so wanting to receive more money, like we have the 7 of coins here, wanting to receive a home or a bigger home, or maybe a home of yourself. Maybe you're a renter right now, but you want to move into a home of your own that has your name on it. You're not paying somebody else for the home. Maybe even a car, because we have the Chariot here. Maybe you're wanting to get a new car or upgrade your car. to, you know, something new, something that seems a little bit more comfortable, more luxurious. Okay. Yeah, we said money. Maybe even travel. Maybe you're wanting to like travel somewhere, like go on a cruise or go on like these like extravagant vacations. Okay. But there's just this energy of like wanting to increase something that is connected to a sense of physical security. And of course, it's also going to be connected to the energy of money and abundance, because we have the kitchen witchery here with abundance, and then we have the 7 of coins as your first tarot card here. And so what I'm seeing is that you are most likely experiencing frustration, all right, and also with all that Aries energy, because things are not happening quick enough for you, okay? But Spirit's coming in and they're saying you are definitely on the right path. So whatever it is that you're doing right now to help yourself become elevated into this new means of security that you're seeking, continue doing that, okay? Just remember that energy of gratitude, okay? Don't lose sight of what you have now, what's available to you now, because you're so focused on reaching some type of like physical goal or invisible finish line of what it is that you're trying to manifest. Okay, so a lot of the times when you're trying to receive something new, you can get really focused on this energy of it not being there, which essentially puts you in this energy of a lack or scarcity mindset, or emotional lack or emotional sense of scarcity. And so that is your guidance for this week, is to try to bring your focus back to the awareness of what you do have right now, and also to recognize how far you have come on your path. Okay, you are not where you were 2 weeks ago, 10 weeks ago is what I'm hearing. Very specific time frame there. But you're not where you were 2 weeks ago, 10 weeks ago, a couple months ago. You're in a completely different space when it comes to your sense of physical security, when it comes to your mental energy, your emotional energy, even like your body. Like I'm seeing like you may have done a lot of work on your body, like your health. Okay, so maybe you've implemented like workout routines, or eating a more nutritious diet, or just like focusing a lot on this, like the nutrients that you're taking into your body, to be able to help yourself feel a deeper sense of security and support within your actual physical body. Okay, and we're getting that a little bit from the kitchen witchery here. And I'm also seeing that some of you may be pursuing that path of developing your health in a new way, like just working on your health in a new way, because you know that by focusing on that, it's going to support these other aspects of your physical life as well, such as, you know, bringing in more money, allowing you to feel stronger or more confident in whatever it is that you're trying to pursue, whatever it is that you're trying to call in, or the people, individuals that you're trying to connect with. Okay. All right. So there was another message coming through for guidance here. Okay. It was around the Queen of Cups. Okay. So also another thing. So I feel here you're trying to call something in, or you're, you know, there's like a specific goal that you have when it comes to something that you're trying to receive on a physical level, but you may be really focused on it from a mental perspective, and then from the physical perspective of such as like strengthening your body, and then also just the physical perspective of whatever it is that you're trying to call in, but you're also exerting a lot of mental energy to it. And so some guidance that's coming in around this with the Queen of Cups is to not forget about the emotional energy, okay, that emotional charge. How are you going to feel when you already have this thing that you're trying to receive, that you're trying to align with? How will you feel once that's already present in your life? And are you able to recognize where the things in your life are already representing what it is that you're trying to call in? And can you exert or express a heightened positive emotional connection to those signifiers. Okay, so let's explain that. Let's go into that. So let's get an example here. So say you're trying to manifest a home. All right, you're a renter, but you want to be a homeowner now. So you're trying to either save more money to be able to buy a home of your own, or you're already at that point. You're putting in applications for a new home. You're going and looking at all these new homes. Nothing's coming through just yet. Okay. All the while, you already have a home. You already have a place of security that you're residing in. But maybe when you come back into that space of the home that you're already living in, are you looking at that space with a sense of joy, with a sense of gratitude, with a sense of connection and love for what it's providing you? Okay, because you're trying to get to, a home of your own, but it's like you already have a home, you already have a place of security in the sense of what it's providing you and what that new home will be providing you as well. Okay, and so there's like maybe a possible disconnect from you recognizing that what it is you're trying to achieve or receive is something that's already available to you in your life now. And the magic key for you unlocking the attraction of what it is that you actually want is recognizing where it already exists in your life now and what it provides you, and offering a sense of gratitude and love for how it already exists in your life. And for some of you, this is going to be something completely different, I'm seeing, in the sense of, maybe there's something you're trying to achieve and align with that represents this energy of abundance, but you have something else completely in your life that represents abundance. Okay, so example, say maybe you're trying to manifest receiving money. Okay, that's a form of abundance, but you have a luscious garden in your home. That's also a form of abundance. Okay, and so it's like you're trying to manifest or receive money or an upgrade in your income, but all the while you have this garden, which is very abundant, very fruitful. And so there's some kind of like disconnect there in terms of the energy and what it's actually providing you that you need to focus on and recognize where that energy already exists in your life, and allow yourself to offer gratitude, love, support, and connection for where it's already available to you in your present life. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and pull some oracle cards and go a little deeper. But yeah, Spirit's saying you're doing all the things that you can do on a mental and physical level. It's more so about, just taking a step back and allowing yourself to recognize where these things are already existing in your life, just in a different form, and offering gratitude for that, because you're really focused on just trying to get to that next thing, but that next thing isn't like showing itself to you. And so I'm seeing you get really frustrated, really hung up that it hasn't come in yet, which essentially puts you in that energy of lack and scarcity, and that's not going to help you achieve, receive, or attract whatever it is that you're trying to call in. Okay. All right, so we're pulling some oracle cards from the Mermaid deck. All right, so let's see what your cards are. All right, we have visions with psychic images, clairvoyance, seeing, and out-of-body travel. And this is number 37. All right, we also have 34 with Yamaya, Grandmother Ocean, and Primordial. All right, and then we have 20 with Falling in Love, Kissing the Divine in Another, and In Yourself. Beautiful cards. All right, and we have 3, Receptivity. Allow yourself to receive and allow yourself to give. Okay. All right. So some of you may be feeling really frustrated that this isn't coming in because you've already received the visions. You already have this inner knowing that this is something that is happening for you. You're just getting hung up on this energy that it's not happening quick enough. And so some of you too are needing to allow yourself to take a step back from what it is that you're trying to make happen, whatever it is that you're trying to call in. And to, one, maybe go spend some time with family and friends, go spend some time with loved ones, connecting with loved ones, because they may be able to offer you a sense of support. And also there may be something that happens where you're connecting with your loved ones, with your family members, and Spirit's saying, you know, if you're not physically close to them, give them a call on the phone, maybe do a FaceTime video chat with them. But I'm seeing here that when you spend time with them or you're talking to these individuals on the phone, there may be something they say in passing. It's not like they're trying to specifically give you advice or guidance, but they just say something, or they're telling you a story about something they experienced, and it just it clicks for you. It just clicks what it is that you've been missing. It's like the magic key that's going to allow you to unlock the flow of abundance in connection to what it is that you're trying to upgrade and elevate in. And it's just going to magically allow it to flow in. Okay, I'm also seeing that there could be some loved ones around you who have a gift for you. There's something that they want to gift you, but maybe you haven't been returning their calls or reaching back out to them. And so, you know, if you've got a loved one who's just keeps calling you over and over again or sending you messages, reach out to them. Maybe they have a gift that they're wanting to give you, and it may be a physical gift, but it could also be just some news that they're excited about as well, okay, which will be a gift in itself, okay? All right, so let's see what's going on with these two cards here, falling in love and receptivity. Some of you are needing to give back to the spaces that you're in right now. And so, okay, so Spirit's taking me back to that example of like recognizing where whatever it is that you're trying to call into your life already exists in your life, and give back to those spaces, okay? It's like you're focusing so much on trying to give to a situation that has not alchemized yet, that has not completed, that has not manifested yet. And all the while you have all these other spaces and connections around you that are really needing your attention, needing your servitude, needing your gratitude, needing your love. And part of that too is also yourself. That could be why we had some of those messages around the like changes in like taking care of your health, focusing on your body, you know, focusing on your nutrition or your health and things like that could be coming in, is because you may also through this entire process be neglecting that sense of self-care. And so you may also just be needing to take a step back and really ask yourself what your own physical body needs, what your own mental and emotional body needs at this time, because I see you're just so focused on trying to achieve this one thing that you've lost a little bit of sight around other aspects of your life that are also very deserving of your love and attention. And that's also going to help bring in that energy of allowing the pieces of this puzzle to fall together, because you'll recognize through giving attention to those other aspects of your life where the thing you're trying to manifest or align with, attract, whatever it is, already exists in your life in some way. You'll recognize like, wow, I've had this abundance all along. I've had this sense of physical support and security all along. Okay, and it's like you may have lost sight of that. And so through giving these things that you've let fall to the wayside, some of your energy, some of your love, you'll then allow yourself to be open back up to receiving what it is that you truly need, and a little bit of what it is that you've been trying to call in and harness, okay? But you are on the right path, and I'm seeing that you will get there. But I'm also seeing that for some of you, you may change your mind a bit when you take a step back and you start to focus on where these things already exist in your life. You may change your mind a bit around the sense of not needing to rush the process, okay? Because we still have this Five of Wands energy here, which is about like moving very quickly. You know, this card is showing like this energy of wildfire. Somebody may be living near somewhere where they're going to experience wildfires, and that may also play a part in changing your mind around, you know, just the way that you're going about trying to align with and call in this sense of physical manifestation, the sense of physical abundance that you're trying to achieve, that you're trying to receive. But it's just around like how you're going about it and also the timeline. So like you may have in your mind that you need to get this done by tomorrow, by next week, but I'm seeing really there is no timeline to this. It's just a process. It's just a journey, something that you're meant to be walking the path upon because it's teaching you and showing you deeper truths about yourself and who you are and how and where these things already exist in your life, and how you can show a sense of gratitude, love, and support for where it's already existing in your life to then deepen into nurturing the expansion of those elements, of those aspects, okay? All right, love, so let's go ahead and pull one last card, and I'm not called to use this deck here. This is the Druid Plant Oracle, and I don't know too much about these plants, so we will read a little bit from the book to send you off today. So let's see. Although sometimes I do get a bit of channeled intuitive messages coming in before we read the book, so we'll see. All right, let's see, what is pile one's plant oracle? All right, so wow, we have mistletoe. All right, somebody's falling in love. Somebody's falling in love with something again. All right, I'm seeing this is something that you've connected with before and you're falling in love with it again. And look at that. This looks like almost like a key. Oh, it's like a scythe, I think is the word, but it kind of looked like a key at first glance. Yeah, mistletoe. We've got the little bird there and the moon. This is representing that new moon energy, which we're coming up on the 18th. But let's see what the book says about mistletoe. And we're just going to read a short bit of it. All right, here we go. Mistletoe. So this represents the energy of healing, fertility, and inspiration. Reversed, sterility, lack of guidance, and distilling wisdom. All right, so we'll read here the meaning. Okay, in the Druid ceremony of Alban Arthun, the winter solstice, all lights are extinguished at the heart of the rite to symbolize the time of the longest night. Then a candle is lit, and all participants light their own candles from this one flame. This symbolizes the rebirth of the sun and the birth of Mabon, the divine child that lives in each of us. Mistletoe is then distributed to all. Since mistleberries symbolize the power of this moment, drawing this card may indicate that a period of difficulty is over as a new cycle dawns. Just as a newborn baby should be nurtured in warmth and safety, so too should the beginnings of new projects and phases in your life be nourished close to your heart. Like Awen, the 3 drops of inspiration in Ceridwen's brew, mistletoe brings guidance, inspiration, and fertility, which augurs well for any creative endeavor. Since mistletoe was known as all heal, finding this card in a reading may well indicate that indeed all is being healed. Yeah, so yes, all is well. Okay, even though you're feeling a little bit frustrated, you're feeling like things aren't happening quick enough, even though you're doing your due diligence, putting in the time, putting in the efforts, the energy, even though you're having those visions and praying about it every day and doing what you can, Spirit's really, they're like kind of asking you to just allow yourself to surrender it to God at this point, surrender it to the universe, and just go go out and enjoy your connections with your loved ones. Focus on things that ignite a sense of love in your life once again, all right? Like the return of the light. You know, what do you do when that spring season begins? You know, everybody starts to go outside. They're so excited. The sun is out. The weather's a little bit warmer. It's not so cold. You don't have to stay bundled up inside. And you just go out and you have fun. All right. And so really that's also another guidance coming in for you, is to just go out there and have fun. But to also, you know, don't forget to give back to yourself in the ways that your body is needing now, and also in the ways that your environment and your physical connections or relationships in your life are needing you to give back to them and to support them where it already exists in your life, okay? So recognize where you already have this sense of abundance in your life that you're trying to deepen into and expand upon, and through those connections, you will gain the clarity, those aha moments around how to actually allow yourself to expand into the spaces that you're wanting to expand in, if you decide that's something that you do want to continue working towards expanding towards. Okay, love? So that is it for your pick a card reading, my love. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this reading, please give this video a thumbs up and comment down below letting me know what resonated most with you. Let me know which practices you're going to try, and I'm just wishing you all the best as we work through this really tense week. We're almost on the other side of it, so just hang on and just try to allow yourself to relax a little bit and go have a little bit of fun, and just focus on those loving connections that are available and present to you in your life right now. All right, loves, until next time, bye. Hello, loves. Welcome into your reading to those of you who chose pile 2. So if you chose pile 2, you have Crow, number 11. We've got the angel number there. With pay close attention to the winds, there's a message making its way to you. All right, loves. So with this being your first card, and I know that this week things may feel as though you need to really move forward with a sense of speed, okay? There may be this rush energy that's sort of washing over you, all right, where you're just like trying to get all the things done. You may have exalted pressures that are coming from nobody except yourself. Maybe some deadlines you're trying to reach, all right, but maybe these deadlines aren't even for a couple weeks to a couple months out, but you're just feeling the pressure rising from within you. Despite all of that, your guidance for this week is to try your best to just slow down and surrender, because where you're trying to create a sense of force in your life, like where you're trying to force something to happen and it's not happening, it's not going to happen with that sense of force until you allow yourself to slow down and receive the insight, the intuitive knowing as to how you can best create a sense of force that will actually work for you. Okay, so right now I'm seeing like there's just this sense of heavy energy that has washed over you, that's created this energy of pressure and needing to just really rush through with something, but maybe you haven't taken the time to really reflect on what the actual best path forward is for you actually achieving whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. And so your guidance this week is to, again, just slow down and allow yourself to reflect, to sit in stillness, and to allow yourself to receive the answers, to receive the guidance that will help you to best move forward on this path with a sense of actually being able to achieve what it is that you're trying to achieve. And you know, I'm actually being reminded of this guidance that I used to share, and it's, if you find yourself rushing through something, it means one of two things. All right. One, well, first, it means you're not being present. All right. If you're trying to just get something done just for the sake of getting it done, it means that you're not being present with what you're trying to get done, which then means one of two things. It means you're either not supposed to be doing that because you're just trying to rush through and get it done, which is preventing you from being present with it, or you're meant to slow down and be present with it and recognize what it is that you're actually doing and reflect on why you're doing it and really ask yourself, why are you trying to rush through it in the first place? All right, so some of you may need that little bit of insight. You know, where are you trying to just force something to happen and trying to just rush through with something, and why? Why are you trying to essentially dissociate and not be present with what it is that you're trying to achieve? And how can you allow yourself to actually be present with it? Or are you even supposed to be doing it at all? And maybe let go of it. All right, so we are using the Fairy Tarot today. And let's see, you can draw one more, but we'll leave it down here. All right, so we have the King of Autumn, compassionate, accomplished, charismatic, and gifted. Be assertive when it comes to what you know is right. Everything going your way. A good person or company to work for. All right, let's make sure we can see it. There we go. And then you also have Prince of Winter. Intellectual, determined, focused, and impulsive. Seek out an intellectual solution to your problem. The need to act quickly and decisively. Sudden or unexpected changes. And we'll get into it. I know the cards say what they say, but we'll see what's really being presented as we unveil all of the cards here. Wow, you have all court cards. Queen of Winter, strong, patient, self-sufficient, and funny. Let go of people or things that no longer serve you. Now is the time to focus on your career. Unmarried or divorced individuals. All right, we also have 17, the Star. Look to the future with hope and optimism. The power of faith to move mountains. Happy changes that bring relief from challenging times. And your last one is another court card. You have all the court cards. You have the Princess, the Prince, the Queen, and the King. All right, Princess of Autumn is studious, responsible, cheerful, and mischievous. And it says here, happy news about your career, promotions, or scholarships. Well thought out plans that go perfectly, needing a little push to get going. All right, so let's see what's going on here with all of these court cards. So you're definitely going through some type of big transition in your life right now, and not like super grand, you know, it's just there's a transition that you're working through right now, and you're putting a lot of mental thought into these changes. And for everyone, this is going to be different, but I'm getting two very specific scenarios being highlighted here. One is with your career path, all right? Some of you may be graduating from like college or a course. Maybe you were taking classes that were just giving you certification in something specific that's connected to your career, which would then allow you to move into a different position than the one that you've been involved in, the one that you've been in for some time. And then the other example that I'm seeing here is right here with the Queen of Winter, unmarried or divorced individuals. For some of you, this is going to also be about a relationship in your life that you've been connected with. And this is somebody, because we have the Pentacles here, the Autumn cards. This relationship that you have been in is one where you're trying to seek some type of deeper understanding around, because I see that you're questioning whether or not you're wanting to disconnect from this relationship, but this is a relationship that you depend on in some way, specifically in a sense of your physical needs. Okay, so this could be a situation where you are married to somebody, but maybe they're the breadwinner, and so they are supplying your your sense of life in terms of your financial security, or maybe like their name is on the home that you live in and things like that. The other situation that I'm seeing here too is they could be somebody who provides you with a great sense of mental support, where you just have a really strong bond with them. There's somebody that knows a lot about your life, and you communicate with them about things that are happening in your life, and they are able to offer you guidance and advice in a way that just really makes sense to you. Like they're almost like a mentor to you in some ways. But I'm not seeing the whys, okay, because you already know the whys, but you're reflecting on possibly disconnecting from these relationships and moving into new connections with different people, or again, this could be about career. And so if this is about career too, Spirit's saying there could be, really close bonds that you have with the people that you were working with. And this could also be something that's sort of like holding you back from being able to make the decision as to whether or not you move forward into a new path, and new connections in your life with, by just making those decisions is what I'm seeing overall here. Okay. So let's see. So those are the scenarios that I'm getting very clearly here. And so, yes. Okay. So circling back around to the guidance here is Spirit saying this is something. Okay. So I'm seeing this is something that no matter what situation you resonate with, ultimately, this is something that you have been reflecting on for quite some time now. And I'm seeing that what's available to you now, like there's something new that you're trying to move forward with. Okay, that energy of rushing. There's something you're trying to rush towards, something you're trying to rush into, because it's something that you've been praying about. It's something that you've been hoping for. It's something that you've been seeking for quite some time in your life. And you're in I'm seeing two different scenarios here. You're in like one of two different scenarios where you're like, I'm at the finish line. I see the finish line. I'm about to cross over the threshold of the finish line. It's right there. And then for others of you, I lost the other scenario. Okay. Yeah, your messages are coming and going. Okay, but the other scenario is getting here is that this, what you've been hoping and praying for, it is connected to other individuals in some way, whether it's about like an actual close relationship where you're depending on them in terms of your sense of physical security or mental support, or if it's a career, a job, all right, position that you share with your coworkers, your boss, and so on and so forth. No matter what type of relationship this is, it is something that you yourself have been thinking about and reflecting on and working towards for quite some time. But now you're at this threshold where you have, that was the other example, where it's like you're either at the finish line and you're ready to cross over the finish line and be done with it. And then for some of you, you're just saying enough is enough. And even though the finish line is there, you can't cross over it just yet because there's other people involved in this situation. And you may not have allowed yourself to communicate with these other individuals in regards to the changes that you're trying to make in your own individual life. And so when you do start opening that door and start to cross the threshold of that finish line, you start to inch towards it, there are other people involved, and they are going to have things to say. They are going to have things to say, energy to share, emotions that they're going to be expressing towards you. And even though you're kind of done with this, like you're like, I am done, I'm ready to rush through this process and just get towards the future path, cross the finish line and be done with this and get towards what it is that I'm ready to pursue. It's like you've graduated, you're ready to jump into that next job. But maybe you've got to wait. People aren't taking your applications. They're not accepting you. They're not ready to, open their door to you just yet. But I'm seeing it's more along the lines of what you're trying to leave behind isn't ready to be fully released from your life just yet. Okay, it's not really about what it is that you're crossing into, it's more about what it is that you're leaving behind, and you're trying to rush the process of leaving these past situations behind because you're just so fed up with them, you're overwhelmed with them, or you just know that your time has run up with them. But again, this is something that you yourself have been processing, reflecting on, and working towards on an individual level, that you haven't opened up the space yet to let the other people involved in these connections, relationships, or in your job know that this is something that you've been wanting to move past. Okay, so a lot of the frustration and anger and tension that you may experience this week, it may come from other people implicating their energy and thoughts upon you around, maybe why you weren't sharing this future path with them, why you weren't letting them know that you're going to be leaving this job, sooner than you are now. Also, if there's like a romantic connection or a mentor connection, there could be some energy of frustration or just pain, emotional sadness that's being expressed here. And there could also the revealing of this information, to sharing this information with these other individuals, could also create a path that you were not aware of. Okay, so for some of you, maybe there could be some things happening with your career path where, maybe you're contracted with them and they try to show you that you're unable to leave because of those contracts, and so they might threaten to create some type of legal situation out of it. And then if this is about, a close loving relationship, like a romantic partner relationship, a spousal relationship, you're going to have to go through that process of separation, going through your stuff together, filing paperwork for the separation, and, just things like that. Okay. So it's like opening up a path that you weren't quite tuned into or aware of, and it can create this energy of frustration and tension because you were so ready to move into the future path that you were like hyper focused on, you were working towards, you were ready for, because you said enough is enough this week and you came out with the truth that you've been harboring and feeling internally. But then this universe, God was like, boom, we've got something else on your path that you now have to deal with, that you now have to work through. And it doesn't mean that you're not going to be able to overcome it. It just means that it's something that you're going to have to work through. You're going to have to get through together. And they're also telling me to remind you again that this is something that you have been thinking about on your own for however long, however many weeks, months, years, and you're just now revealing this truth to the other people, the other situations that are involved in what it is that you're trying to initiate now. And so it may take them some time to really come around to this information. And so some of the frustration that you may be battling this week will be coming from the energy of others not processing things quick enough for you. So it's like you're revealing to them where you want to make changes in the relationship that you share with them, and then you get really frustrated because they're taking too long to process what it is that you've shared with them, but you're losing sight of the fact that you've been processing this initiation for weeks, months, years, and they're just now finding out about it this week or maybe the previous week, and they haven't had as much time to process it as you have. And so they're going to be in a completely different emotional and mental state than you're in right now because of how much time you have taken to process it. Okay. And so that's why we also have this card here with the crow reminding you to enter into this space of stillness, because emotions are going to be a little bit high. I'm seeing that words are going to be strong. All right. People are going to be speaking their mind. All right. People have a lot of thoughts and opinions about these changes that you're initiating. And even though it's very positive for you, it may just be a bit challenging for them to accept and to come around to. Okay. So give yourself time, give them time, and allow yourself to come into your own space while you allow them time to process what it is that you have just shared with them. All right, so let's pull some oracle cards now. We're mixing the fairies with the mermaids. So let's see what the mermaids want to share with you from the Oracle of the Mermaids. I do see that there is very, like, all your cards have this very positive energy. And so I do see there's a positive conclusion of the situation where, like, you will be aligning with the path that you're wanting to align with. It's just that this week and maybe over the next couple weeks, you'll have to be going through this miniature obstacle that you didn't expect to come of this situation, because you yourself are ready for this change. It's just that there were other people involved and you may have lost sight of the part that they play in you being able to actually move forward and step onto this path and actually be able to cross the finish line. Okay, so just give them time. Give yourself time. So we have 35 with the crane bag, sacred ocean medicine, clutter, declutter, and choice. All right, and then we have 14, water flight, heaviness lifts, burdens are cast away, and weightlessness. Some of you are just ready to chuck it all and run away. All right, we have 38 with guide, a guide, mentor, a trustworthy ally. Yeah, something about a mentor coming up here. We also have 8 with fertility, potential, powerful creative energy, and initiation energy. Yeah, so some of you, the situation that you're leaving behind, whether it's a career or a romantic relationship, a special relationship, or a mentorship, I'm seeing that they did not allow you to embody the depths of your full potential, of your creative potential, and you have recognized that completely. Like, you are just completely aware of where you are not being valued, where you're not being heard, and where you're not being seen. And I'm seeing that this is something that you have been battling with on an internal level for so long, that when you finally share this truth with the other individuals that are involved, they're just, you know, they're going to be met with this truth that they have not been conscious of, because you're telling them, like, enough is enough. I'm not putting up with this anymore. You know that you are worthy. You know that you are valuable, and that you have value, and that you're intelligent, and you have potential. And so for some of you, I'm so sorry if you have been working with a mentor or a coach, a therapist, a doctor, whatever it is, who has not been listening to you, not seeing your potential, not seeing your worth. I'm almost seeing here, like, some of you may have be coming into the awareness that you're getting scammed in some way, where they're just, like, taking your money and just like, have been keeping you in this loop of, like, making you believe that you're not worthy and that you just need to keep paying them in order to increase your value or increase your intelligence or your skill set in some way. And you're just coming into this realization that they're never going to tell you that you have completed this course, or that you're ready to go and spread your wings and fly on your own without them. You know, mentors should want to get you into a space of being able to do things on your own. Of course, you know, they offer mentorships because they have unique gifts and intelligence and skills that they can teach and share with others, and of course they're doing it as a means to support themselves and make money. But at the root of it, they should be doing it as a means to help you want to align with your own divine truth, and to not always need them. All right, so you should not always need to have them. And I feel that this is something that you're coming into the awareness of. And if you're not, maybe this is your sign that this is something that you need to think about. And the same thing, other relationships, you know, other relationships in your life. Maybe you have a boss in your life who you keep asking for promotions for, or you keep asking to take certifications or courses, and they keep telling you that they'll pay for it, they'll sign you up for it, and then they just don't. They keep, like, dropping the ball. And it's because they're, like, trying to keep you at the level that you're at. They're not seeing the full potential that you have. They're not wanting you to grow. Maybe they're afraid that you're gonna you know, excel so much in these courses that you're gonna kick them out of their own position, their own job, and they're really fearful of that because they're able to see the full potential that you do actually have and possess. But for so long, the individuals, the relationships in your life have been convincing you that you don't have that potential. But something has kicked it into high gear, into your consciousness, and you're able to see that you are really intelligent and you do know what you're talking about, and you're ready to go into this energy of flight and to move away from all these relationships and connections that are not supporting you or not believing in you. And that's why this week, it's like a week of really alchemizing that energy and finally admitting these truths to yourself. And so that energy of anger and frustration, it's like, it's kind of exploding out of you. It's pouring out of you into this energy of telling people the truth of what you've known all along about yourself and about how it is they're not supporting you and believing in you and trusting in you. It's like maybe they say they do, but their actions speak differently. And you're finally throwing it in their face and letting them know that. And that in itself is going to create this energy of heavier tension. And so that's why Spirit just keeps coming back to the Crow card here to remind you that when you do start sharing these truths and speaking up for yourself and standing up for yourself, to remember to come back into a space with yourself to process what it is that you've shared and the boundaries that you're asserting and the changes that you're making in your own life for yourself. And Spirit's also coming in now to remind you that you are not responsible for the emotions of other individuals, all right? You're only responsible for your own emotions and your own individual path when it comes to what it is that you're initiating here, what it is that you're sharing, all right? So how others respond to the changes that you're making right now for yourself in your path forward, it's not your responsibility to change their emotions or to make them see things differently, okay? Especially if they've been trying to keep you in this loop of seeing yourself as less than you are, okay? Because they just thrive on that. I'm saying they just really thrive on that, and it's something that you really need to get away from. And you are getting away from it, all right? But I'm seeing here, they're going to kick and scream and fight back and try to keep you in that bubble, try to keep you in those beliefs that they were once upon a time convincing you of. But now you've seen the light, you've seen the truth of yourself, and you're ready to move on and move forward into the path of pursuing your full potential and aligning with the path of what it is that you actually want to be experiencing, and into connections that do actually support you and are actually offering you a sense of trust, love, and true mentorship, true honesty. All right, so one last thing we want to talk about here is with the crane bag. For a lot of you, you're going to be initiating the mental awareness around what is needing to be changed in your physical life. So physical relationships in your life, and also physical places of work. And this could also trickle into like physical home life. So maybe the home that you live into, maybe you're needing to move out and things like that. And so once you initiate the mental awareness through voicing what it is that you're initiating change towards this week, Spirit's also reminding you that, again, you cannot change how people are perceiving this information. You cannot change, how they're going to react, how they're going to respond to it. And so, of course, come back into that stillness, come back into yourself in connection to knowing that you can't change how they respond, but to also focus on how you can start cleaning up those physical spaces. All right, so if this is about a relationship, maybe you're needing to get some things from the other person, maybe you're needing to give their physical things back to them. If this is about a job, maybe you're needing to start cleaning out your desk, start taking your personal items home. Also, there's again something about legal matters coming in here, so make sure that you get all the documents that you need, maybe even before addressing the situation publicly with others, because I'm seeing some shady stuff where like they may try to like go onto your computer and delete all your files and things like that. So just make sure that you have backups of all the like contracts and documents that you need, as long as it's like legally safe for you to do so. All right, but also, just focus on, starting to clean out those physical spaces that you're going to be moving out of, and any physical connections or binds that you may have through actual material objects, okay? All right, loves, so we are going to pull one last card for you from, this is the Druid Plant Oracle. I was really guided to use this deck, and it's not one that I use often because I don't quite know all the plants in this deck, so we are going to read a little bit from the book to send you off today. Also, something Spirit wants me to talk about is the numerology of your reading. You have the 2 8s here. You've got the 14, 11, which can represent the court cards as well. We've got 11, 12, 13, 14. 17 adds up to 8. All right, so 8s may be significant too. Even this 35 adds up to 8. So yeah, 8s may be very significant to you. 11s and also 3s. All right, so there's your plant medicine. Let's see what it is. All right, we have matter. I love that because our reading is about the tension and anger this week. And there we've got the word mad. All right, matter. And we've got this beautiful divine feminine figure here. A moth. A little red bow tie. It looks like a scarf. And we got the sunset. All right, so things are going to be okay. All right, things are going to be okay. You're going to get through this. You're going to get through the pain and the tension and the turmoil that you're working through this week. And you're going to come out on the other side of this very soon. I'm seeing for you, pile 2, it may take a little bit more time, but you will get through it. All right, so matter. Strength, courage, or coming of age, the goddess, depletion, resistance, and anger. And we're just going to read the meaning right here. So matter is the plant of blood and the goddess. The rich red dye it produces symbolizes the vitality of the body and the fertility of the land. Why you have fertility twice? If you have chosen this card, it could mean that you've reached a time of major changes in your life, perhaps a particular life stage such as puberty, the menopause, or the andropause. Alternatively, it may simply indicate that you have reached a certain point in your development. Either way, this card signifies something meaningful and worthy of recognition. You might want to mark this time consciously with a rite of passage or a pilgrimage to a sacred place where you can tie a kludi to a tree with a wish and a prayer. I guess that's what this scarf is. It must be a kludi. Another interpretation of this card is less specific, suggesting simply that strength is now needed. This may be physical strength or it could be strength of character to endure in the face of difficult circumstances, to resist the easy option, or to delay your own satisfaction or reward for the sake of something more important. Okay, yes. So I'm getting a couple different messages here. So one, the first paragraph of this is just affirming that for some of you, you're graduating from something, you're moving on from something that has served its time in your life, and you're ready to up-level, expand, or transform in some way. You're ready to move on from something. The other thing here with this energy about strength here, let's reread it. This may be physical strength or it could be strength of character to endure in the face of difficult circumstances, to resist the easy option, or to delay your own satisfaction or reward for the sake of something more important. Okay, so this is bringing me back around to that energy of rushing. And so for some of you, I was seeing this with the water flight card here, is for some of you, you're ready to just up and leave the situation behind in the dust. You're ready to run away from it without even communicating to the other individuals involved in this situation. And so there's a bit of a warning, cautionary there to just be mindful of doing that. You can absolutely do that if that's what you're being guided to do on an intuitive level, but that is also a very rush energy. All right. So just like we talked about in the beginning, you may want to re-listen to those messages around the energy of wanting to rush through something. If you're trying to just up and leave and run away from this energy because you're feeling this pressure overtaking you, you're ready to rush through this process, you're not wanting to deal with the difficulty of communicating to others that are involved in this situation what it is that you're feeling, what it is that you're seeing, then again, you're not being present with yourself and the situation at hand. And so there may just be some need to take time to slow down and to really reflect on how you want to best move forward with the situation before really jumping the gun and just crossing over that finish line without actually running the race. So it's almost like you got in your car, you drove to the end, you saw the finish line, and you just walked through it, but you didn't actually run the race to get there. You took the easy way by telling somebody to just drive you to the finish line. And so for some of you, if you're ready to just up and leave this path, and it's coming in with this energy of like wanting to just rush through it and not have to deal with facing, you know, the situation as a whole for what it is, that's an energy of rushing. And there is this need to just reflect on it and recognize, you know, why you're trying to rush through this situation without actually facing it and dealing with it head on and speaking your truth and opening up the door to receive the sort of like receiving the closure, the sense of closure that you're going to be missing out on if you just up and leave from this situation, and from also allowing yourself to be heard in the ways that you haven't been allowing yourself to be heard. Okay, so there are multiple paths for you to take this week, and, you know, listen to whichever path your intuition is most guiding you to. Just be mindful of the pressure and the energy of rushing. All right, so if you need to go back and listen to that insight we shared about rushing and what it means in relation to being present in your life, it's directly at the beginning of your reading, right when we're talking about this card. Okay, all right, love, so that is it for your reading today. I thank you so much for tuning in, love, and I'm wishing you all the best as you work through this energy that you're going to be working through this week. Again, you will be coming out on the other side of this in a couple weeks, so just hang on, keep working through it, and remember to keep coming back to yourself and just focusing on things in your life that you are able to focus on when it comes to that energy of just cleaning out those physical spaces and creating that sense of disconnection that will help you to move forward with a sense of closure, peace of mind, and heart in your connections and physical spaces that you're moving away from. All right, loves, thank you so much. If you enjoyed this reading, please give this video a thumbs up and comment down below letting me know what resonated with you, and just know I'm sending you so much love and wishing you a beautiful week. Until next time, bye, loves. Hello, loves. Welcome into your reading to those of you who chose pile 3. If you chose pile 3, you chose the Scarecrow with number 34, and this says, remember that you are not alone. Move with confidence as you are guided. All right, love, so this week you are being reminded that you're not alone. You may be feeling some heavier emotions, of course, of the anger that we're feeling, but here I'm feeling that your anger may be more connected to this energy of sadness. All right, so I think, you know, scientifically in like psychology, they always say that heavy emotions, very strong emotions of anger are actually this energy of like masked sadness. And so for some of you, you may really be in this energy of just feeling heavy pain for something that you're going through, something that's happened to you. You may be getting triggered very easily. And it's like triggering you into this energy of anger and frustration, but it's really an energy of sadness on a deeper subconscious level than you're allowing yourself to admit. Okay, and so for some of you, this is your sign, your guide to reach out to others. All right, if you've been feeling really alone, maybe isolating a bit, again, this is your sign to reach out to your friends, your loved ones, to get out, maybe talk to a therapist or a mentor or a healer who can help you through this time. All right, and some of you are also just needing a boost of confidence, a boost of encouragement, and something that you're trying to face in your life at this time too. So there could be this sense of hesitancy or delay to move forward with something in your life because of past experiences. So there could be something that you're trying to return to, and you haven't allowed yourself to fully return to it because of pains of the past. Okay, but it feels very subconscious here, very, very subconscious. All right, and so for your reading today, loves, we're using the Shadowscapes Tarot, and this is actually a very special deck to me. I have not used this publicly in such a long time, So I just know that your reading's going to be a magical one since I was guided to use this for your pile. And I say this is a very special deck to me because it's the first deck I ever had. And I haven't worked with it in a while, so let's see what it wants to share today. We have the Three of Cups. Yeah, Three of Cups is the card of support, celebration, connection with others. We also have Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles. We've got the Queen of Swords. Oh, let's make sure you can see all the cards. Sorry, they were a little high. All right, and then we also have the Queen of Pentacles. Wow, 2 queens. All right, and then we have 9 of Wands. Okay. All right, my loves. I almost feel like this week something really positive is happening in your life. But for some of you, it's almost like you're not allowing yourself to fully embrace the celebration. It's almost like you're not recognizing that what you've achieved is enough. Like you've achieved something glorious, or you're just experiencing something really beautiful in your life right now, and you're just kind of getting down on yourself about it and thinking that it's not enough and that you're not worthy of this sense of celebration and connection when you really are. That's why you are having this beautiful experience. You wouldn't be having it if it wasn't meant to be something that you're meant to be partaking in. I am seeing for some of you, you may be witnessing joy from others. Okay, so like maybe you are attending a wedding ceremony of a close friend or family member, or you know, you're going to like a celebratory event for somebody where you know, maybe they've achieved something really like, what's the word I'm looking for, like they've, what is the word, they've like achieved something, like I don't want to say substantial, but it's like just something that deserves recognition. And just through you like attending these events or these celebrations, it has you reflecting almost, maybe even a little bit of comparison, where you're comparing your life to these other individuals' lives. And there's like a heavy emphasis on this energy of connection with others, and like, you know, maybe like just how many people are there celebrating them and supporting them, because each of these other cards, we have this energy of individuals on their own, and even the Scarecrow here reminding you that you're not alone as well. And so if you find yourself falling into that comparison loop, if you're going to events to celebrate others, recognize that you are also part of that celebration, and you are just as much connected to them and to all the other individuals that are at that event too. All right, and so you deserve to recognize that you are also connected and you're also taking part in that sense of celebration. Even if the celebration isn't happening for you or because of you, you still play a part in that event and in that ceremony, and you still played a part in that individual person's life that you're showing up for and helping them get there in some way, okay? And that deserves to be recognized, and it deserves to be celebrated. And also, Spirit's coming back around, and they're trying to remind you that you have unique gifts that also deserve recognition and celebration in its own way. It may not happen in the same ways that these other individuals are receiving, but it will happen for you in the way that it's meant to happen. All right. So that's just a message that may not resonate with everybody, because circling back around and just seeing that some of you are actually having a celebration for yourself or an accomplishment that you've achieved. Maybe some of you are also just maybe like you're going to like visit places from your past. So maybe like you're getting asked to go back to the school that you went to and give a speech to the students there, or maybe you're going to like a high school reunion, or going back to visit family in a place that you grew up in, or maybe just a place that you lived in temporarily. You're like passing by, and you're just overall kind of reflecting on these connections of your past in terms of like the relationships that you held and where these people are at now, where you're at now, and also just reflecting on the lives that you lived in these actual physical environments as well, and the connection that you shared to those physical places and the land itself, and to the life that you lived when you were connecting with those places and spaces. And you're being gifted this opportunity to offer your insight and personal experience to the individuals that are now existing in those spaces that you once existed in. Okay, so really unique and beautiful message here for you, pile 3. I don't see a lot of like brutal tension coming your way this week. It's more like this energy of nostalgia and a little bit of that comparison energy, which can lead into that energy of sadness and pain that we talked about, which can present itself as anger. You may be getting a little bit frustrated or down on yourself. Because I just see that you may be comparing yourself to where you're at now versus where you could be versus where you've been. All right. But you have a lot of success to celebrate because you have really positive cards here. You've got the 3 of Cups, the 10 of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, the Scarecrow reminding you that you're not alone, and where you're at now. You also have the Queen of Swords. All right. The 9 of Wands, which, you know, even though you've come so far, you still feel as though you have so much further to go. But it's okay to take a moment to recognize where you're at in this moment now and to not allow yourself to get hung up on the past, and don't get too hung up on the future. Just focus on where you're at now and give yourself permission to celebrate and enjoy where you're at now, and take that in right now in this moment, because you won't be getting this moment back. All right. So don't lose sight of that either. Don't lose sight of how far you've come. You know, where you were 4, 5, 6 years ago is completely different to where you're at now. And it's where you prayed you would be 4, 5, 6 years ago. And that deserves to be celebrated and to be honored. I'm also seeing here for some of you with the 10 of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles that you may be trying to elevate in some physical aspect of your life where, you know, you're trying to grow something physically. All right. So maybe some of you may actually be trying to like grow a physical garden, because we have the Scarecrow here as well. Maybe like planting an orchard or just working with herbs and plants for the first time. But also I'm seeing where you're trying to build something physical, like maybe like create a savings account or pay off debt, or like generate a savings account for specific things in terms of physical needs, such as a home, or I'm seeing like a boat for somebody. Maybe somebody wants to buy a boat, a vehicle, or a trip. Like maybe you're wanting to create a travel fund, or like just like a fun, like something to do for fun. So that's just a specific message coming in for somebody. But what's coming in around that too is to not, again, like don't get hung up on where you are not at just yet. Okay. Remember to bring your focus back to this present moment and to celebrate and be grateful and honor what it is that you have now in this present moment and just how far you've come in this present moment. Because even though there are still so many things you want to achieve and that you want to work towards, Spirit's just really coming in and trying to remind you that you have already come so far, and you deserve to recognize that, and you deserve to celebrate that. And so after you watch this reading, I want you to get on your phone and reach out to all your friends and your loved ones and invite them out for dinner to celebrate your accomplishments. All right, your accomplishments. There's something that you have accomplished recently. Even if it was a couple months ago, you probably didn't take a moment to go out and celebrate it. And it deserves to be celebrated, it deserves to be recognized and to be honored. And so Spirit's saying, you know, get on your phone and invite your loved ones out to celebrate this accomplishment that you have achieved. And just let it be. All right. Don't say like, we're celebrating you to know you're celebrating you. You're celebrating the accomplishments that you have made up to this point in your life. All right. And also Spirit's coming in and saying, you know, if they offer to treat you, let them treat you. All right, you don't have to treat them. Let them treat you. Let yourself be taken care of. Let yourself be supported. Let yourself be celebrated and honored, because you deserve that recognition just as much as anyone else does. But it's really about you trying to give that recognition and support and value and love to yourself first. Can you do that? That's what this week is asking of you, is to recognize where you can provide yourself with a sense of love, celebration, and joy. And so for some of you, when I was saying you may be creating a savings account for just having fun, that may be something that you need to do, is to just start setting money aside for fun adventures. All right, just for fun. All right, not everything has to, go towards something that's like very technical or detailed or organized. You can also make room for fun. You only have this one life, this one moment. Why wouldn't you be having fun with it? All right, give yourself permission to have fun. And that's going to boost that energy of the pain that you're feeling this week as well. You may be feeling a little bit down on yourself because you feel as though you don't have time for fun, for celebration, for connection with your loved ones, but you do have that time. It's just about making that time for yourself. All right, I'm also seeing here some of you may just need to get in the car or buy that plane ticket and just go do that thing that you've been wanting to do, that you've been wanting to experience. Go travel to that place that you've been wanting to travel to, or go meet up with that friend or that family member that you keep saying you're going to meet up with, that you keep saying you're going to travel with, and you just need to set a date, buy the tickets, or get in the car and go see them. All right. All right, so this week may be a little bit of an impulsive week when it comes to doing the things that you said you did, or doing the things that you said you would do. And then also there's this need to just celebrate yourself. Get away from the energy of comparison and from one days. All right, I can't talk in your reading too, so there's a little bit of throat chakra energy that may need to be cleared out as well. There's something that you need to say, something that you need to express. A truth. You're hiding a truth about something from yourself. And it's connected to this energy of achievement. It's almost like you achieve something and then nobody showed up to congratulate you or reward you for this achievement, and Spirit's kind of coming in and they're saying you can reward that sense of celebration to yourself, or again by reaching out and inviting those people that you want to celebrate with, because they may not even know what it is that you've achieved, what it is that you've accomplished. And for some of them, maybe you've told them, but maybe they just can't quite grasp the revelation or the realization around what it actually took for you to achieve that accomplishment. And so it's almost like they need to be told. They need to be told how important this is to you, and you need to invite them out to, just kind of let them know how important it is to you, and just take some time to celebrate that with your loved ones, okay? Okay, so we have yearning with number 40, longing for someone. All right, sorry, loves. I sneezed, but I'm back. All right, so 40, yearning, longing for someone, undesired separation, and pining. All right, yeah, there's something you need to say to someone. I'm sneezing. I've got I can't talk, can't say the words correctly, can't find the words. All right, 27, adrift, letting go, allowing a higher force to take charge for a time. 15, divination, prophecy, fate, destiny, and future fortune. All right, and then we have 44, homeland, arrival, a journey ends, establishment, building, and settled. Yes, some of you are returning to spaces, places that you went to in high school. I'm seeing connecting with loved ones from high school, friendships, and for some of you this is going to be about romance here, where maybe you're attending a friend from high school's wedding, and you're connecting with all these friends that you went to high school with that you haven't seen in years. And maybe for some of you, you're connecting with a high school sweetheart that you haven't seen in a long time. And it's just stirring up a lot of emotions. Maybe you're wanting to reconnect with this individual. Maybe it's got you in your feels around wanting to move back to this space. It just has you reflecting on this energy of what once was, and recognizing where you are now and like how far you have to go. And again, that comparison energy of like comparing yourself to where everyone else from high school is at. And for some of you, it may not be high school. It may just be like people in your social circle, or maybe you're like looking online too much on social media, comparing yourself to other people and what they're presenting online. Yeah, just a lot of comparison, longing, and nostalgia going on for you this week and over the next couple weeks here, pile 3. And so again, there's this need to kind of bring this energy back to yourself, and to focus on where you can celebrate what's actually going good for you in your own individual life, and to try to remove your focus from the people that are kind of just like passing through. Like, you're not going to remain connected with these people at these events, even though we shared that message around you recognizing the importance that you play in being there and celebrating other people and other individuals in their joyful events and their joyful accomplishments and successes. You also can give yourself permission to celebrate the joyful experiences and accomplishments in your own individual life as well, even if it's something that happened months and months ago, even over a year ago. It's like Spirit's giving me the example of when people graduated during the pandemic. When we were in lockdown, there were some people who couldn't graduate. They couldn't walk the stage. Well, guess what? When the pandemic was lifted and the lockdowns were lifted, they went and they got on stage and they walked a year, 2 years later. They still celebrated that achievement because it was worth celebrating. And so just like in this situation that you're going through, if there's something very specific in your life that you're feeling a little bit nostalgic on, you're feeling this heavy energy around, that you achieved, that you accomplished, and you didn't get to celebrate it, you can celebrate it now, okay? And for some of you, this could be about like a wedding. Like maybe you got hitched to somebody, you got married to someone in the courthouse, you just like a quickie wedding, but you're recognizing that maybe you want a really big wedding, you want to have a fun party with all your loved ones there to celebrate you. And so you can start taking those steps to create that event of celebration and love that you'd always envisioned for yourself. Just because it didn't happen the first time doesn't mean it can't happen this time, okay? And those are just examples that I'm seeing here. This is going to be different for each of you in the actual energy of what you're working through this week, but this is the overall underlying energy where you're just really missing something. There's like this energy of sadness that's being stirred up in you, that's creating this sense of tension and pain and frustration in your personal life, because you're falling into this like kind of comparison loop of where you have a lot of success, a lot of love and support in your life, but there's just some things that you feel as though you've missed out on, or some things that you didn't allow yourself to partake in or create, or you haven't achieved yet. And so there's this need to kind of fill in those gaps to help ease that energy of pain and sadness that you're feeling, and to surrender to what it is that is actually available to you now, and how you can fill those spaces in with a sense of love and joy and honor and celebration for yourself. All right, so for some of you too, I'm getting another message here that there's something that may be happening this week that's kind of pulling you away from the things that you've been focusing on, the relationships that you've been focusing on, such as that return to your hometown. There could be something that's a little bit heavier that's happening, even though you have this sense of physical support in terms of like financial support, your security support of like your home life, your career, and also your relationship support. There could just be something a little bit heavier going on that's a little bit unexpected, and it's inviting you into this energy of just surrendering, just letting go, and allowing yourself to go with the flow of what is happening to you, what it is that you're experiencing this week. It is something that is part of your unique divine plan for your soul path. and it's part of what's going to guide you back to this space of home within yourself and where you're meant to be now in this present moment and moving forward. Okay, loves. All right, so let's go ahead and pull your last card. We're going to pull one last card from the Druid Plant Oracle. And I was really called to use this deck, but I don't use it that often because I don't quite know all the plants in this deck. So we're going to pull your card and then we will read a little bit from the book just to close out your reading. So let's see what your plant is. All right, take that one there. All right, so let's see pile 3. We have yarrow. The yarrow plant. This is the medicine plant. This is the magical healer plant. This is also the last plant in this deck, which tells me that there is some type of transition that you're going through right now. You may be feeling as though you're going through an ending or approaching an ending of some sort. And again, that deserves to be celebrated. You deserve to be rewarded for what it is that you're closing out. Even if it doesn't feel like something that deserves celebration, it does deserve to be celebrated. All right, so yarrow, we have fidelity, masculinity, virility, divination again, uncertainty, and indecision. And we're just going to read, you know what, we're going to read the reverse meaning here because we have divination under reverse. So I'm feeling called to read this because you have the divination here. All right, yarrow stalks have been used for divination for centuries. We turn to divination when we are uncertain about the future or need guidance. This process can easily become fatalistic and disempowering. Used wisely, an oracle should encourage us to draw on our own inner wisdom and stimulate our ability to think more deeply about our situation before making any decisions. This card may indicate that you are turning to this oracle to help you make a choice that deep down you suspect you've already taken, but hesitancy and doubt have their values. They help you to avoid arrogance and impulsiveness and to fine-tune your decisions and timing. Sometimes in an oracle, we seek only the echo of your own thoughts and feelings. Okay, yeah. So I'm definitely getting with this reading here, it's like you keep convincing yourself that everyone else can have that sense of fun, that sense of excitement and joy in their lives, when all along you also deserve it. You've accomplished so much, and you too deserve to celebrate yourself and to take part in the celebration of life. And Spirit's coming in and they're saying, you know, even if you can't pinpoint something that deserves to be celebrated, just being alive and living and having connections and just living in itself is a celebration in itself, and you can have fun without reason. All right, so your homework this week is to get out there and play, to make a play date with a friend, with a loved one, and to share in what it is that you've accomplished this week, what it is that you've accomplished over the last few weeks, last years. Okay, so right now, like I said, get on your phone, text your friends and families, ask them when they're free, go out to dinner, go out and play, go like play some mini golf, go to the park, play frisbee golf, go karting, go to an arcade, do something that you would do when you were a kid, something that you really miss doing that just brings you a lot of joy, a lot of fun. And while you're doing it, you know, you don't need a reason to, but while you're doing it, talk to these other individuals about the successes in your life, because that needs to be reiterated to you and affirmed to you and confirmed to you that you are successful and you are worthy and you are valued. And even if you don't have like this grand list of successes in your life, you know, just share about the things that you're doing in your life that bring you a sense of joy, a sense of excitement, a sense of peace and love and connection. All right, loves, so that is it for your reading today. I thank you so much for tuning in, and I am wishing you all the best as you work through this energy. I feel as though it was a little bit challenging to get your messages out because this is something that you're working through on an individual level, and it's something that you're going to come to these revelations around. But overall, your message is around, you know, just allowing yourself to have fun, to have a sense of celebration, And through allowing yourself that, you will come out of this painful, sad energy that you're working through right now, and you'll find your way on this path. But it is something that you just have to work through this week. But I know that you'll get through it, all right? And just remember, too, that you're not alone. And if you need to, reach out to a loved one for support. And if you need a little extra support, you can always reach out to me as well. You can comment down below or send me a DM on Instagram or send me an email and we can chat. All right, you're not alone in this journey, in this process, and you will get through this. All right, loves, thank you so much. If you enjoyed this reading, please give this video a thumbs up. Comment down below letting me know what resonated with you. Let me know what activity you're going to go out and do to celebrate. I'd love to hear how you're going to go out and have fun and play and just live life with a sense of celebration this week. All right, loves, I thank you so much once again. Until next time, bye, loves. Hello, loves. Welcome into those of you who chose pile 4. So if you selected pile 4, you have Molasses with number 26, and it says to move forward, you must know where you are headed. All right, loves. So this week you may be receiving some exalted energy of frustration because of this exasperated contemplation in connection to where it is that you're moving. So you may be feeling really frustrated because you're trying to like take steps forward, but it seems like there's this lack of energy of having a clear, direct path forward, and you may not quite know where it is you exactly want to land or where you're actually going to land based on the action steps, the communications, whatever it is that you're trying to do. It's just not landing because there's not a clear, definite understanding as to what type of foundation you're wanting to build or what path you're actually wanting to go down or what you actually want to come of, what it is that you're dedicating your time, energy, and efforts to. And so I'm seeing here for some of you, this could also be about a relationship, or maybe you're connected with somebody in your life and you keep trying to, you know, get a definite answer of declarations from them, but they're just not being really forthcoming with you. And yeah, look at that. I think we saw the Ace of Cups on the bottom. We'll take that, which represents this energy of relationships where they're just not being quite honest with you or like declaring to you. But yeah, I'm seeing that there's just not like a declaration around the path forward. Like you're trying to get a definite answer from somebody and they're just not letting you know. So this could be a romantic connection because we did have the Ace of Cups coming through on the bottom of the deck there. But this could also be like a business relationship, a contractual agreement, or even a friendship connection where you're like trying to reach out to somebody and get confirmation on something that you're wanting to pursue or move forward with them on, and they're just not responding to you. They're not getting back to you, and so there could be some frustration there. But there's also this energy coming in around an individual level, an individual path where you're taking steps forward, taking action steps, making declarations to yourself, but the efforts that you're putting forth are just not receiving desired results, and it's really because there isn't much clarity around what it is that you're actually working towards. Okay, but let's see what more we can get with the tarot cards here. So we have Queen of Wands. We've got 12, the Hanged Man. We have 8 of Pentacles. Yeah. King of Pentacles, and you have an extra card that wanted to come out here with 7 of Pentacles. All right, loves. So the frustration that you are experiencing is really because you're not following the path of your heart. You're not following the path of your truth. It's almost like you may have gotten hung up on this very specific path that you had to pursue, and you find yourself in the middle of it, doing all the things, all the check boxes, maybe living up to expectations of others and just completing, you know, that checkbox list that you've been given or that you gave to yourself, that somebody else gave to you, but now you're in the middle of that path and you're recognizing and realizing that you are not where you actually want to be, and you're not going to the spaces that will actually bring you a sense of fulfillment. And so this week, you may experience those exalted emotions of frustration because you're recognizing that the spaces that you're moving towards aren't exactly filling you up on a soul level when it comes to this energy of satisfaction and fulfillment and joy and love and peace that you want to be experiencing in the path that you are connecting with. Okay, now for some of you, there may just need to also be like a bit of a perspective shift here, where I'm almost seeing here like you may be placing blame on someone or something outside of you, where maybe like your parents told you you had to pursue this specific path, and so you took them at their word, and you yourself made the choices to say yes to the path that they had laid out for you, even though they may have been pressuring you into taking this path, even though they may have been like providing the means for you to pursue this path. At the end of the day, you still made the choice to say yes to this path that they had laid out for you and all that it entailed. And so I'm just seeing here, like Spirit saying, like you may be placing blame on them, like, oh, I'm finding myself in this situation of frustration and lack of satisfaction and fulfillment because they forced me to do this. And there's not a lot of accountability that's being taken on for yourself here, and recognizing and realizing that you chose to pursue this path. Yes, based on their guidance and their advice and their pressures, but at the end of the day, you still chose to make these choices and move forward upon this path. And so there needs to be acknowledgement of that and a bit of acceptance, because until you allow yourself to acknowledge and accept that truth for yourself, nothing's going to change, and you won't be able to receive this energy of clarity around that truth, and thus it will delay the ability for you to receive the answers or the insight into the next steps that you can take, because it will serve as sort of a roadblock here for you not recognizing that you have a choice, and you've always had a choice, and you made the choices that you made. You know, nobody forced you to make those choices, even though there is some, like, the essence of the responsibility doesn't just fully fall to you. Yes, there were pressures at stake, and you may have been young and innocent and a bit naive when you made those choices. You didn't have the full information or the full life experience, you know, where you're at now. You just have to take a sense of accountability for those choices that you made, with the lack of resources, knowledge, and resources that, you know, you didn't have at the time, but now you know, and you can still take accountability for the choices you made when you were younger and unknowing or ignorant or whatever it is. And then from that acceptance and acknowledgement, you can then make different choices for your path moving forward that are more in alignment with things that you yourself actually want to be pursuing, and not something that somebody else is implicating or inflicting or persuading you to pursue. All right. I do want to say, I feel like somebody tuning in, maybe like a lawyer or studying law school or even like philosophy. All right. Something with like words and just like reading, studying and reading a lot, taking in a lot of information, a lot of knowledge. And for some of you, this could be like a confirmation for something that you're leaving behind, or this could be confirmation for something that you're wanting to pursue and move forward with, okay? Because this is a general public reading, so it may resonate differently for anyone tuning in. All right, so let's see what else is coming through here. Okay, so the other message I was getting here is with this Molasses card here, is that there needs to be a declaration made. Okay, so some of you, there's something that you're trying to achieve, or, you know, something you're trying to receive. So for some of you, you're trying to get a response back from somebody, you're trying to hear back from somebody, or you're trying to like create something, produce something, or achieve something on a path, you know, like maybe going to school, taking classes, getting certificates in something, or like you're trying to create a business or a product line. You know, there's something that you're trying to achieve, and again, the steps you're taking are not generating the results, because even though you have some type of idea for what it is that you want to be pursuing and the path that you want to be moving forward with, you don't have like definite deadlines for the things that you're trying to create and the things that you're trying to harness. And that is essentially sort of preventing you from actually achieving the results that you're working towards. So it's almost like it's almost kind of like lollygagging energy, where you're like lollygagging your way there. And it's just not bringing in the results that you are hoping to achieve from this experience. And so that's why we have this Molasses card here saying to move forward, you must know where you're headed. But, also before we move on to the next thing, Spirit also wanted to talk about the relationship aspect. Some of you are waiting to hear back from people, and it's like you sent them a message, like a couple weeks ago, maybe even a couple days ago, and they're just not getting back to you. And it's something that seems a little time sensitive, or it's something that's just important to you in relation to your personal time and maybe like the time that you share with this other individual, and they just haven't gotten back to you. And so I'm seeing here that you may just need to send them a message reminding them like, hey, I haven't heard from you. I saw you read my message. Can you respond as soon as you can, please? So we can set this up, or so I can move along and, get to the next thing, whatever it is, just kind of send them a reminder. And then for some of you, if this is about like setting a date or a deadline with somebody, if you haven't declared that to them, this is, your guide to text them and say, hey, I need this done by this day. All right, that's the deadline, or we need to set this up by this day because, tickets are going to sell out, or, that restaurant gets really busy, so we need to book it immediately, or you're going to be in town and then you're not going to be there, whatever it is, voice to them why you're feeling this sense of time sensitive connection to this meeting and needing to get their response back quicker. Okay, just give them a heads up, because they may not know. They may be sort of devaluing your time and not responding to you quickly because they just don't know. All right, there's like this energy of a little bit of ignorance and not knowing here. And same thing with like needing declarations from another individual, if you resonate with those messages about this being about a partnership where you're trying to decipher whether or not this is a connection that they're wanting to commit to and move forward with, but they're not making declarative statements to you. If you haven't voiced that you need that definite declaration to them yet, then you need to let them know. All right, there's this need to really activate your throat chakra and speak your truth out loud to them, because people may just not know what it is that you're thinking, feeling, or desiring to receive and understand from them. Okay, so the other thing that I was seeing in connection to the path forward for you, where you need to make those definite deadlines and the ideas that you're pursuing, the connections that you're pursuing, I am seeing a sense of success here, because we have the King of Pentacles, we also have the Seven of Pentacles. Even though you're not seeing the results that you want to see right now, this is something that you're working on growing. This is something that you're working on nurturing. And it comes from within yourself, from within your soul center, your heart space. It's something you're really passionate about pursuing. But for some of you, this is a new start. Okay, you're starting over. Completely. You're leaving something behind that didn't resonate with you. You're leaving something behind that other people had decided for you or influenced or pressured you towards pursuing. And then for some of you, it's like you're just looking at this from a different angle, looking at it from a different lens. And so you're sort of restarting how you're connecting with this journey or this path in a new light, and you're nurturing it in a different way than you once were. You're no longer lollygagging. You're very serious about it. You're understanding that the efforts, the energy, the time, attention that you provide to it is what will determine the success of it, all right, through all that information that we talked about with like deadlines, definite declarations, commitments, and things like that. But with the King of Pentacles here, as long as you build a strong, solid foundation and declare to yourself what it is that you're working towards, set those deadlines for yourself and for others that may be involved in this, you will come out on top of this situation, and it will be very fruitful. It'll be very supportive because you'll have that strong, steady foundation that you built. All right, you'll have strong roots latched into the ground, supporting this journey forward. So also, it's okay to go slow with this journey. Like molasses, molasses takes so long to get it all out of the bottle. And it's okay to go slow with this journey as long as you're dedicating your time, energy, efforts, and attention to it every day. You're nurturing it, you're watching it grow, you're supporting it, you're giving it what it needs. When it needs, you're not neglecting its growth. It will grow and it will flourish, and it will be a beautiful journey, a beautiful process for you to experience. I'm also seeing here for someone specific that this path that you're pursuing, if you're sort of pivoting towards, it's something that's going to have a big effect on other people as well. So you're creating something really beautiful that's going to allow others to feel a deep sense of connection to what it is that you're creating, and so essentially to you as well. So some of you, what it is that you're creating or pursuing, it's going to help a lot of other people, and also just the path that you're taking in and of itself. So maybe not necessarily just like what you're pursuing and creating is going to have an effect on people, but also like sort of like your story, the journey that you're taking right now in pivoting is going to serve as a story of connection to others. Okay, so say, you resonate with the example I gave around like feeling the peer pressure from your parents to pursue a specific path, and now you're saying, I'm not going to pursue that path anymore. I'm going to go do my own thing. That story in itself will resonate with others and will connect with them and sort of help them and encourage them to also choose a more authentic path for themselves, okay? On top of what it is that you're actually pursuing and creating will also have an effect on others and encourage them and be very supportive. All right, we got 2 there. So we're going to pull we are pulling your oracle cards now from the Mermaids, Oracle of the Mermaids. So let's see what your oracle cards are. Okay, we have 41 with sisterhood, friendship, allies, compatible souls, loyalty, joy, and delight. All right, we also have 36, time out. Yeah, something with time is significant here. Awareness, contemplation, solitude, and time alone. I don't think I've ever really pulled this card from this deck here. All right, we also have number 1 with beauty, grace, loveliness, integrity of form and spirit. All right, and then we have 11. Wow, we got ones following each other. And you also have 41. And the ace. Sacrifice. There are those worth making, and there are those that will destroy you. All right, so some of the frustrations that you may be battling this week is also going to be in connection to people who may have pressured you or made you believe that you had to do things a certain way. There could also be some conflict arising from like this energy of if you're continuing to pursue the same path, but you're shifting how you're pursuing it. So I'm getting this example of like maybe rebranding or sharing different things than you were once sharing, or, creating new products that have nothing to do with products you were creating before, or, staying in the same industry, but choosing to pursue a different position in that industry. I'm just seeing that the people that you were connecting with, or the people that you were sharing these products or thoughts, ideas with, may have some tension rise up from within them that creates a little bit of a conflict, because they may not have this full understanding or this sense of support towards you in making these changes. Okay, so there could be some conflict around that, and so this will be sort of like a reflection of this inner battle for you to really align with and dedicate yourself to what you're feeling internally and on an intuitive level to better support yourself in the path forward, and to actually give yourself permission to pursue and nurture the things that are going to allow you to feel this energy of tapping into your own inner light, and to allowing yourself to create and move from your heart center, all right, versus the energy of the influence and expectations of people, places, and situations outside of you. Okay, so you're really being tested this week from choosing yourself and what it is that you are feeling guided to pursue on an internal level. And even though this path may feel a little bit slower, it may not feel as fruitful with the sense of like immediate fruitfulness as the other path, because it's one that you are already on. It's one that people understood and supported you on. You're meant to do something completely different. You're meant to do something really unique and true to who you really are. And through the energy of connecting with your own divine beauty, your own divine truth that is very unique to you, you will find a deeper sense of satisfaction, joy, and peace on this path. Okay, so this week is really also going to be about quieting all that outside noise that you have been allowing yourself to take on. But this is something that you're already aware of. This is something that you're already choosing to do. It's just there's going to be that inner turmoil because those people are going to get loud. They're going to get very loud. And it's just going to serve as sort of a test for you to continue choosing to pursue what it is that you know is right for you and your path moving forward. All right, people are not going to understand why you're making these changes, because what it is that you're changing, what it is that you're shifting away from, is something that was very successful. It's something that you were very much connected to and enjoyed, and you were really good at it. You were really skilled at it. It's just, it's not something that brought you this sense of emotional fulfillment, because it was not a path that was, even though it's one, like I said, where you did make the choice to pursue that path, it wasn't one that you chose from within yourself. It's one that other people had influenced you to choose. And so now you're coming into the realization of that and acknowledging it and actually starting to do something about it by shifting away from those performative expectational paths that others have picked out for you. All right, but there's so many like counterparts that are involved in this path that you're moving away from. So many people that are going to tell you like, oh, but you're so good at what you do. You're so great at this. You helped me with XYZ, and you can help so many more people with this and this and this. And even though that may be true, at the end of the day, you have to come back to that, that inner truth, that little cliche of having to fill up your own cup first. If your cup's not filled, are you truly helping others fill their cups up? And here it's very clear the answer is no. You have to come back to yourself and fill up your cup first, even if that means letting others down because they had these false expectations of you. If they really loved you and supported you, they're going to love and support you on this new path. It may just take some time for them to come around, but right now they're just going to be really confused about it. They're going to get really tense, very loud about it, because they themselves had this specific vision for what it is that you were going to be pursuing and achieving in this lifetime, and now you're kind of shifting things up towards that and in their visions, and you're changing it completely. And this is all going to be very new to them, just as much as it's going to be new to you. All right, and so that's why we have this timeout card here, is to just remember to come into spaces of solitude and reflection as you continue making these changes and these choices and creating this path, this plan for those deadlines and those declarations of where it is that you're moving forward towards. And then we also have the Sisterhood card to remind you to reach out to those loved ones who will support you in this journey. There are people in your life who will understand, who will listen to you. And even if they don't fully understand, they will listen to you and they will do their best to support you. You know who those people are. They're the first ones that came to mind. Reach out to them, connect with them, and let them know what it is that you're working through this week. Let them know what it is that you're going through. And also listen to them as well, because they may have some guidance, they may have some advice as to how you can best address the other individuals that you most likely want to stay connected with that are just not, not understanding and exerting a lot of emotional energy towards you around making these changes. Okay. All right, loves, let's go ahead and pull your last card now. Let's pull one more card from the Druid Plant Oracle deck. So I was really drawn to use this deck today, and I don't usually use it because I do not know all the plants in this deck and their individual meanings. So we are going to read a little bit from the book today to close out our readings this week. Alright, so let's see. I'm thinking that bottom card. No, it got mixed in. Alright, so let's see. We'll see what wants to come out for pile 4. Alright, this one. Alright, so pile 4. You have mistletoe. Okay, mistletoe came out in pile 1's reading as well. And I think pile 1's reading was also a lot about relationships. So if you were torn between 1 and 4, you may want to check out pile 1's reading as well. But of course, listen to your intuition on that. All right, so I'm really drawn to the moon here, which actually also drew my eye to this 8 of Pentacles moon phases here. And so Spirit's coming in to just remind you that, things come and go in this energy of phases. And so even though you may be feeling this heavy energy of wanting to rush forward towards something, there's just this need to recognize, what is it that you're actually trying to move forward with, because there's not a lot of declaration there. There's not a lot of clarity in terms of what it is that you're actually trying to achieve, and to just recognize, that this energy of wanting to rush through something, wanting to rush towards something will pass. All right. And so if you're able to try to just shift your focus towards the things that you can actually control right now, such as creating that plan. And we have the new moon in Aries coming up on April 17th this week, and new moons are a beautiful time for setting new intentions and creating plans, because it's a new moon, it's a whole new phase. And so this is the perfect time to plant new seeds and to nourish new ideas that you're wanting to set the intentions towards. It's not really a time of actually seeing the results and getting those results. It's more of a time of being able to lay the foundation and do that, nitty gritty, dirty down groundwork that you're trying to lay out for the path moving forward. All right. So also coming through, this would be a great week to journal out any plans, ideas, go get a business planner or a planner in general, and just kind of map out some deadlines for things that you're wanting to achieve, goals that you're wanting to achieve over the next 28-day moon cycle, and maybe even the next couple months. Okay. Like, you can't always, like, everything that you're trying to achieve this month, it may not happen this month. That you may have some bigger goals that are going to take a couple months time. All right. So map out more realistic goals for yourself too. Okay. So we have mistletoe here, and this says healing, fertility, inspiration, sterility, lack of guidance, and distilling wisdom. And we will read here the upright meaning. In the Druid ceremony of Albin Arthen, the winter solstice, all lights are extinguished at the heart of the rite to symbolize the time of the longest night. Then a candle is lit, and all participants light their own candles from this one flame. This symbolizes the rebirth of the sun and the birth of Mabon, the divine child that lives in each of us. Mistletoe is then distributed to all. Since mistle berries symbolize the power of this moment, drawing this card may indicate a period of difficulty is over as a new cycle dawns. Just as a newborn baby should be nurtured in warmth and safety, so too should the beginnings of new projects and phases in your life be nourished close to your heart. Like Alwyn, the 3 drops of inspiration in Ceridwen's brew, mistletoe brings guidance, inspiration, and fertility, which augurs well for any creative endeavor. Since mistletoe was known as all heal, finding this card in a reading may well indicate that indeed all is being healed. Let's read the, I'm feeling called to read the reverse meaning too. So here it says, sometimes we need to learn to walk in the dark. However much we seek guidance and advice, it eludes us as if the universe is telling us that we must stand on our own 2 feet and make our choices without any help. While this can be lonely and painful, it forces us to draw on our inner qualities and instincts, and in the end, this can serve our deeper purpose. In this way, lack of guidance becomes a meaningful part of our soul journey. Choosing this card reverse may also indicate that you are experiencing a time of sterility or lack of inspiration. Remember that the sun is only reborn at the time of the longest night, and that the bright knowledge of Alwyn emerges out of a baleful brew that is poisonous. Out of difficulties, we can distill wisdom. Okay, excuse me. So I'm getting this energy. Both of these, the upright meaning and the reverse meaning that we read can be significant to you here right now, because you are essentially going through a very challenging time where you feel as though you're almost like losing the sense of support that you once had upon your path, because there were a lot of people that had high expectations for what it was that you were pursuing, or there were just like a lot of people that you were connecting with that were depending on your support or your presence in what it is that you were doing, what it is that you were pursuing. But now you're choosing to pursue a path that is more in alignment with something that just lights you up, that you feel really passionate about, that you feel very connected to, very strongly about. It's something that you cannot deny. It's something that just kept knocking at your door. It kept calling you towards it. And now you're finally choosing to shift paths a little bit, shift your perspective, and give this calling a chance, all right? And I feel like from the beginning of you choosing to offer this path, nurturing and support and declaration, it's going to be very fruitful very quickly, like in a few months' time, all right? I know I said, the things you're trying to achieve may not get done in a month's time, in a couple months' time, but the things that you do achieve in the next couple months will be very fruitful. You will see results from them. You will see a sense of success, which will help you continue to strive to put forth even more effort, even more attention and presence upon that path. And then in return, people will eventually come to understand why it is that you had to redirect your path. All right, but Spirit's saying, ultimately, it's not about how others are perceiving you in this path. It's more so about you coming into that space of internal reflection and introspection and allowing yourself to pursue the path of your heart center, of the light within, and what it is that you're being called towards. All right, loves. So that is it for your reading this week. I thank you so much for tuning in, and I'm really wishing you all the best as you work through this energy. I know there's a lot that you're transforming and alchemizing right now, and so just give yourself time, give yourself space, give yourself grace. You will get through this, and you will align with a beautiful path that does feel more satisfying, more fulfilling, and more in alignment with the energy of love and connection that you're actually hoping to pursue and achieve and receive. All right, love. So thank you so much once again. If you enjoyed this reading, please give this video a thumbs up and comment down below. Let me know what this new path is that you're pursuing. I'd love to hear from you all and how the messages resonated with you. All right, loves. I'm sending you so much love and wishing you a beautiful week. Until next time, bye.